What is the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get fired. Well, if you don't trust your boss and your boss doesn't trust you, you think you're getting fired anyway.
Welcome to StaffBuffalo's Pain Points Podcast. Hi, welcome to another episode of the Pain Points Podcast. I'm Lauren Lewis, and I'm here with Amy Gurske, who is the founder of sayhii. Amy, so excited to have you on the show.
It's so good to be here.
Thank you. I know as soon as we met, I was like, you need to be on the podcast because we just had this like great energy coming together. We talk forever, I feel like. So
yeah.
I was like, you're going to be a great guest. And I just love the work you're doing and kind of your story work from where you started your career in corporate America to now starting your own tech company in like the human space. So please start by telling us your story.
You know, I had to laugh because when you mentioned the podcast and the fact that it was called Pain Points, that's really at the essence of what we're trying to do at sayhii is like bubble these pain points up and help people solve them.
Yeah.
But let's backtrack. So I'm like, well, I can't not go on this podcast because it's literally what we're doing. So of course. And so it's so good to be here. And going back also to your energy, being in the upstate and Western New York ecosystem, it is so cool when you find other founders, other leaders, other companies that are bringing that same energy to the table.
Yeah.
So we just want good things for our communities,
Absolutely.
good things for our humans. So like, natural fit.
Totally natural fit. And it's so funny you say the pain points. When we started the Pain Points podcast, and we had talked about like doing a podcast. We're like, what are we going to call the podcast? Then I had a shower thought.
Oh, the best.
Oh my gosh, pain points. That's what we do. And that's what so many people we talk to as guests on the podcast. They're solving pain points for their clients. They've overcome pain points in their careers.
Yep.
They're solving pain points in their industry. There's so many ways you can go with it. So it was like such a natural fit. So it works
and it
really
needs
well
to be talked about because there's such a range of pain points, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so I think one of the most important things that you're doing is bringing visibility to some of those pain points because some are obvious that people are like, you know, I can talk about this. I feel comfortable talking about this. But then there's others that they're like, nobody else is experiencing it. I'm the only one experiencing this. I cannot talk about it. I will suffer in silence. And when we kind of put it out there into the universe, people are like, oh, it's not that scary.
I've been there.
Oh, someone else has gone through this. Yes, exactly. That's the point. And I do want to say, if someone is feeling pain, just know you're not the only person feeling that pain right now. There is somebody else in this universe who is either feeling it at that same point in time. There's somebody else going through a breakup. There's somebody going through a divorce. There's someone who doesn't trust their manager. There's someone who has the knots in their stomach while logging on that first day at work.
Absolutely.
We know those feelings, and those are all pain points, and they're all valid.
Yeah.
So, and the size of pain points also fluctuates, right?
Yeah.
But it's such an individual thing. And so I love that we're just like blowing it up and saying like, let's bring out the pain points.
Yeah.
Because it's just humanizing the fact that we're all exactly that, human.
Right.
Like we feel pain, we experience things. Yeah, so we got to talk about it.
And we're all going to get through it.
Yeah.
You know,
we're still here.
We're still getting through it every single day. Like you wake up and we talked a little bit about gratitude before we started recording. And it's like, you know, the more you can express gratitude for maybe some of the pain points in your life or things you're kind of dealing with, the better things are going to look.
Yes.
You know, and kind of finding the small things to be thankful for as maybe you're going through some challenging times can go really far.
It can. And so going back to my career, there were a lot of pain points. There was a lot of moments that I hit where I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? What am I going to do? But it all led me exactly to where I am now. And so if you're sitting in a pain point, just know it's temporary, right? Like we're all still here. We're all existing. We get through it. It may not be the way that we want to or the way we think it should go, but it's always the way that it's supposed to be. Yeah. So what I will tell you is when I started hitting these pain points, in my first job in corporate America, which was 17 years. I was with one company for 17 years.
That's a long time. Especially like kind of in our generation, people don't stay with companies that long anymore.
Right. And I was one of those people that said, I want to retire with this company.
You were a lifer.
I was a lifer. I was in it to win it. I did so many roles within the company, worked through so many divisions. And so people say like, why did you leave this company? Well, the pain point got too big, right? And so what I tried to do essentially throughout my career is just be really aware of what I'm experiencing. Because typically when we're facing pain, so at the end of my time in that company, essentially what happened was I had been in one role for 10 years, scaled up that team. We were crushing it. It was going great. And there was a role that reported to the C-suite of the organization, doing things that I had been training myself through additional schooling to do. I was like the perfect candidate for this, been at the company 17 years. And I reached out to my boss because you have to get boss approval, right? You don't just want to go for a job internally and like not tell your boss. Bad move. That'll cause more pain. We don't do that. So we tell our boss, hey, I'm interested in going for this job. And he said, I can't let you go for it. And I said, sorry, what?
Why?
That's like, wasn't expecting that one. Did not think I was going to be coming down that phone call. And he said, you're a top producer. Give me 4 to 5 more years. And I've been doing it 10 years. And although some on this that might be listening might say, well, she should have waited 4 to 5 more years. The truth was, it had been 17 years of a lot of commitments and under delivery.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, enough of the weight of those unresponsive claims, the needs I was expressing that I needed to be productive and efficient in the workplace weren't getting met. So why am I going to try to then tackle this new challenge of trying to go win somebody over to like convince my boss to let me take this?
For 4 or 5 more years.
For 4 to 5 more years. Yeah. And so I ended up getting poached by one of my consulting clients because I built our consulting division and ended up going and launching a startup for them. So the pain I felt there was essentially having a glass ceiling put on me. Mm-hmm. Give us 4 to 5 more years. You're doing everything perfect. You're productive. You're driving revenue for the business. But we can't let you take this role. So
they didn't want to lose all the production you were achieving for them too.
Right.
In the business, like they were afraid of what would happen.
Right.
They weren't there in that role anymore.
Yeah. And so one thing we can acknowledge.
But not to that.
Exactly. And so when we get into these pain point situations, I think it can be hard sometimes to get a clear vision about what's actually happening. But the truth is, there's pain on both sides. Mm-hmm. That manager was facing the pain of he's going to lose his top producer. What am I going to do? Well, behind that is fear. And so most of our actions are actually driven by some form of fear of rejection, fear of acceptance, fear of all of it. And so he was fearful of leaving me. So he was trying to control that situation. And my control would have been to go above his head, but that probably would have burned the whole thing down. So I ended up leaving the company. But when we're in pain points, I think it's also very human to acknowledge that the person or situation you're in, there's a lot of fear there. And it's not just yours. The person that you are in the situation with is also feeling fear and they're responding in that way too. Mm-hmm. So that helped me understand the humanity behind why this person was acting that way because I loved this person. This person raised me in the company.
And it probably wasn't anything personal about you. It was literally they were probably just thinking about themselves and their business and how it would affect them and their team and their overall production.
The problem is when we don't listen in corporate America and we try to force our will, that is when people are going to leave. Mm-hmm. And so we have to be really careful when we're trying to control the situation so much that it's actually causing people to squeeze out the side. Right. And we do see that a lot in corporate America. The more we control, like the lack of autonomy, you're going to do what I say, what I'm going to do. You're going to be in the office from 8 to 5. All of these rules, constraints, there's that somewhere in the middle thing. So both of us have hybrid teams, right? Mm-hmm. And I think promoting that autonomy and saying, we're all going to meet in the office on Monday. That's going to be our day. We're going to be together. What you guys choose to do the rest of your week, this is my schedule. This is where I'm going to be. You choose what works for you. What's odd is they all come in then. And you're like, but wait, I thought you'd only come in Monday. No, they're here every day.
Yeah.
But we want to give options and allow people the autonomy to make their own decision.
Yes.
And then we as leaders get to make our decision if what they're doing is meeting up to our expectations, right? Mm-hmm. So if you give the autonomy, say, we're working from the office on Monday, every other day. If they never show up the rest of those 4 days, but they're getting their work done, fantastic.
Right.
If they're not getting their work done,
well, that's another story.
Right.
There's some pain points there you have to overcome.
Exactly. And so we have to acknowledge, though, that person also has fear, just like we're not getting what we need in that situation. Neither are they. Mm-hmm. And so I think approaching those conversations in a more human way, saying like, I think it would be more productive if we had you in the office at least 2 days a week. What are your thoughts around that? Or what are the constraints with you coming into the office? Whatever that may be. So kind of jumping back to the story, understanding fear on both sides makes it much more human. Now, in the moment, I was very angry. I'm like, what do you mean I'm getting overlooked for a job? Like, it sounds very calm now.
Well, because you have some time to reflect on it. And I think,
of course,
anyone who's really worked in corporate America has been there.
Yeah.
You may be their top producer, top performer. They have your, career track ironed out. You're going to move from here to here and move up, and you're going to do this. Then when push comes to shove, if something changes, internally on a corporate perspective, you're not necessarily on that trajectory anymore.
Right.
Because nothing you did wrong.
No.
You're still doing all the right things. You're doing all the tangibles, the intangibles.
Yep.
You're producing. And then things shift. And you see that a lot in corporate America.
Yeah. And we shift.
And we shift.
Yeah, we shift as humans. And one of the things that you can think about is like, what am I gaining from this situation? And when I ended up leaving that job and going and launching a startup for this other company where I hit more pain points, because again, we're going to hit pain points no matter where we are.
Yeah.
I was so proud of myself. I was able to find, like we talked about, the gratitude in the situation. I was able to spend 17 years at one company.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And learn this company through and through. And the amount of knowledge I took from that, I'm not mad at this company. I'm not mad at this boss. I still talk to everybody there. There's no reason to burn a bridge.
Yeah.
But there is acknowledging that there was hurt that was done. However, we're all exactly where we're supposed to be. We're all going the right direction. So
and it really sets you up for this next chapter.
Correct. Yes, all of it. And the ironic part was my development conversation every year with my boss for 17 years was expand your network. At the time, I was like, what a shortcut. Like, that's the guy. Expand your network. How, like, fluffy is that, right? But I took it seriously, and I would continue to expand my network, which now, 10 years later, I can see why that has paid off. So, yes, after leaving that company, going and launching a company for a very large organization, maybe the largest in the world, I myself burn out.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't even know how stressed I was. I went to my doctor. I think I told you this story, but it's crazy. I went to my doctor, and she had done all this blood work. I just could not seem to lose weight. Like, the vanity is what brought me in, right? My clothes aren't fitting. Everything's uncomfortable. I was 240 pounds. And I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. I was hitting my macros as close to possible.
And you're driving yourself nuts trying to figure all that out, right? And just...
Oh, my gosh. The monkeys running on the treadmill, like, full speed, up an incline. Like, it was crazy. And my doctor literally sat me down. She said, how stressed are you? And I said, well, what's the scale? She's like, 1 out of 10. I'm like, I don't know, like a 5. And she's like, well, your blood work and your blood pressure, which was 220 over 110, about to have a heart attack.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know how I didn't have a heart attack.
Because you're still healthy. You're still doing
I'm still alive. I'm still here.
You're doing all the working out. You're getting your cardiovascular.
Drinking the protein, doing all the things. Yeah, and so I realized in that moment I was in pain and again did not understand what was happening. And my doctor literally said to me, you need to quit your job. And that one startup had hit 20 billion in sales on Friday. And they said, what are you doing to celebrate your job? I'm like, resigning. And so I did midlife resign because the pain point was to the point where I could not control the expectations that the company had for me. And if I kept living up to those expectations, the sacrifice would be my own personal well-being and health.
Right. If your mental health, your physical health is not up to where it should be, so you're performing at your best, you're not going to perform.
And guess what? It wasn't that company's fault.
No.
That's mine. That's my ownership. It's my overachieving sense of I can take more. I can take more. Give it my way. I can handle this. I get it done the way it's supposed to get done, right?
Yeah. And did you even feel that you were stressed?
No, I genuinely did not. Like, I could not have told you my blood pressure is at... Like, I would have been one of those people that had a heart attack and people were like, we don't know why. Like, she was so healthy. She was doing all of this stuff.
All the things.
All the things. And truly, it was cortisol. It was stress. It was literally killing me. And so I did quit my job. Which, again, in that moment, I remember it was a Friday. I woke up on a Saturday morning in my place in Boston, and I, like, sat up, and I'm like, what do I do now?
What do I do?
What is it? I had to, like, pull out my Mac that was, like, 10 years old, like,
dust it off.
Dust it off. Like, does it still turn on? Because I, given my company computer back, I'm like, I don't have a computer. But, again, what happened from that, when I was able to actually accept that situation exactly as it was, and not continue to force myself to do something that was killing me. And that was by far the hardest decision I had to make. I was raised by a single mom. We always had to work for the things that we wanted. I've been working since I was 8 years old. Yeah. And so the thought of quitting a job, like I'd never not had a job. And most times I've had 2 jobs at the same time. So
to quit a job without having a job lined up, that's wild.
But it was the ultimate decision that honestly built more self-worth in me than anything else I have ever done. Ever. And I have gotten sober. That was hard. I had to set certain boundaries. I've had to leave. I've had to do all these things. Leaving that job, right? Like all the external validation of the big title, the big company, the big money, the nice apartment, all these external things that actually don't affect you, none of those matter. And so over the next year, I went through this incredibly humbling process of being right-sized with all of it. And I don't mean right-sized like, oh, I don't live in a nice place, or I don't, can't put food on the table, but right-sized as to recognizing what mattered.
Yeah.
And so in that year, was the same time that I had the request to build sayhii. So sayhii was completely unplanned. When I left that big company, I had spun up this LLC to do some change consulting, whatever, just in case I needed it. And the only domain available for my consultancy, which is human integrated insights, how do we integrate the way humans behave within everything we do, that domain wasn't available, but sayhii was. And then 6 months later, I got asked by the Mayo Clinic to come lead innovation. And I did not want to take this job because I just come from a burnout culture, and this was coming out of COVID.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so going to healthcare after COVID, it's just a whole different ballpark, too.
Totally different. So I said I'd consult.
Very high stress.
Right. They wanted full-time. I knew I was going to have to manage my own stress levels. And so I needed that flexibility. That's not what they wanted, but they wanted my most innovative idea, which was essentially saying hi once a day to optimize the health, well-being, and productivity of every human that's working there. So they ended up asking me to build them sayhii and bring it to them, which I ended up doing. So that's the only reason sayhii even came to exist. I had not planned on launching a tech company, but when we're present in the moment, there's a need. It's like, okay, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And I got quiet. It was in alignment. I said, okay, I'm going to build this.
Yeah, I'm going to figure it out.
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we figured it out.
That's awesome.
And we brought it to Mayo, and they said, thank you so much. Now come work here. And I said, I think I'm going to run with this. And they said, by the way, what's it named? And on the spot, I was like, sayhii, because the only domain available when I was starting high was sayhii. So I'm like, well, I have this domain. We're just going to roll with this. We say hi once a day.
Yes.
It truly is when you just stay in the moment and notice what is supposed to come to you or what is right in front of you, and all you do is take it. That is the journey of where I am right now. It's all about staying in the moment, staying in the day, seeing what is in that moment, because I can project all I want, or I can be mad about the past, but the truth is all we have is what we're working on now. And even before we started recording this, in the moment, I shared a need that I had for my business.
Yes.
And you were like, oh my gosh, wait, I might be able to help fill that need, right?
Yep.
And I was, for some reason, we were called to talk about that. I didn't think I would talk about that today.
No, it just came up.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so in that moment, we never know when our needs are going to be met.
You never know.
You never know. And so it's just really about being present and appreciating what you do have in the moment. And I know it sounds more simple, but because again, when I had to choose to resign from that company, the emotional torment, I don't want to downplay this. The decision that I had, it was a very quick decision. But then after that came the grieving process.
Right.
And so one thing
you were running at 100 miles a minute, so then to nothing.
To nothing.
Right? You're like you said, just kind of we're sitting in your apartment, you woke up, you just sat up, we're like, oh, now what?
Right. But again, somebody
what did I do on Monday?
Yes, and somebody went through a divorce and woke up in their house by themselves and said, what am I going to do?
Right.
Right? You have a kid who's staying home for the first time by themselves, babysitting themselves for the first time, like all Home Alone style.
Yeah.
Very scary. So all these pain points are essentially the fear that we're feeling. We're feeling it for a reason. When we acknowledge it and say like, okay, I acknowledge this. I'm not going to die if I go on a podcast. Like, let's just try to stretch ourselves. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Absolutely.
They're not going to post it. Okay, well, no harm, no foul, right? So when we actually think through some of these fears, they're actually not that scary. But if we just let it hinder us and not move us forward. So, for instance, if someone is in a very difficult relationship, and I say relationship because that's what it is, with their boss, there is no trust with your boss. I am still going to be the person that's going to tell you to get really quiet with it and then be the brave person, get over those fears, because what is the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get fired? Well, if you don't trust your boss and your boss doesn't trust you, you think you're getting fired anyway.
Right. So, probably not a good situation.
That's what that knot in your stomach is, because you don't trust that person, so you have this knot, but you're going to still feel that knot every day unless you get over the fear of being willing to go to your boss and say, there is a lot of tension. I don't know how to fix this. But I want to get this to a better working relationship. And I literally just had that exact conversation with an investor.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different aspect of your journey too.
Yeah.
Now, with building sayhii, building a tech startup, you have to look for investors.
Oh, yes.
Which that's, to me, I'm always like, how do these tech founders do this? Like, how do they go and find investors and get people to like, give them money to keep building their business? It's just wild. But going back on something you said too, you're just talking about like the knot in your stomach, going on a podcast and stretching yourself in a different way. And we've all done different points in our careers. And one of my favorite quotes is, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like, that's where you grow. That's where you learn. And I think we've all had to do that, especially at different points in our lives, whether personally, professionally, probably both.
Yep.
At one point or another, you have to sometimes have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
To get to the next step.
Yep.
And then you kind of look back, you're like, oh, I did that.
The self-worth.
No problem. I figured it out. I did it. I got it done. Go me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so when we see these, and honestly, I would say young employees, but it's honestly everybody with this lack of self-confidence, all that shows me is they have not been able to face those fears that have allowed them to progress and feel that self-worth. Because every single time we get through a struggle, so talk about a pain point. I was raised with a single mother. We worked for everything that we had. We always had jobs, right? Like I said, I'd been working since I was 8. And so the idea of taking somebody else's money, talk about a pain point. Talk about fear of like, okay, this thing that we put so much value on because we didn't really have it when we were growing up. Like now, I'm just going to go ask someone to like give me their money. Like how's that possible?
How'd that first conversation go for you? Like when you...
Terribly awkward. So awkward. And I am so grateful that the first individual I talked to was human enough to say to me, Amy, I understand that you feel like this is a huge ask, but this isn't a one-sided ask. I am investing money in the hopes that the company will do well and I will make more money.
Right.
You're actually giving me more than I'm giving you.
It's a good way to look at it.
And I was like, well, not in this moment. I still got to grow the company. I'm like, well, Larry, let's think this through.
Give me some time.
I'll do it like an hour. Like, what are we talking here? So, but it really is acknowledging like that in that moment, and me not wanting to take money was a fear of failure, right? And I'm like, so what if I fail, but what if I succeed? Like, that's a startup, right? It's going to be a 50-50 gamble. We're on 5 years. You guys are so much more tenured than us, but they say if you make it past 3, you're doing okay. You make it past 5, we're coming up on 5.
I would say 5 years is such a great milestone to hit.
Right.
And we hit ours in April 2020. So that was like so bittersweet. No. So 10 years for us this past April was just like, we're like, okay. Like we felt like a little bit better.
Yes.
April 1st, 2020, we're just in the start of the pandemic. And it was wild, but...
That is a crazy time.
It was crazy times.
Crazy times.
But we made it through that.
And again, we made it through that. And what was your fear then? Again, it all comes back to fear. COVID, we're going to lose business. We're not going to be able to pay people. We're not... Fear.
Are we going to have a business? Do I have to go back to corporate America? Like,
oh gosh, have you ever thought...
What would I do? Again?
What would we do?
I don't know.
Like, have you thought that since starting your own company?
Oh, all the time.
Like, I don't know what I'm actually good at anymore, people. Like, I don't know that I'm good at anything because we have to do everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
You do so many different things.
I think I would probably go be like a checkout person at Target.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It's very clean. Yeah. I think it'd be decent working conditions, and I buy a lot there. So if there's a discount, I'm just saying it's my backup.
There you go. I was just talking to someone the other day about working in places where you can get a discount.
Oh heck yes, I'm all for that.
Back in the day, I did work at Abercrombie because
Me
I
too.
A discount. Oh, of course you did.
College. It was totally my thing. Little high school and college.
Of course we both worked at Abercrombie.
But here's the best part.
It was so fun.
I so quickly transitioned to my elder ways. When I took my first job full time for this company of 17 years, they moved me to Philly. And I was making $40,000 a year, which was great for just out of college, although I couldn't afford rent. Right. So I had to work part-time, and I knew I would not pick a store that I could spend the money in.
Smart,
So the best part-time job I ever had was Harry and David. All I got to do was put together the Christmas packages and like dry seal them. I like literally would like make baskets, stock shelves. I didn't buy anything.
No wonder you make Christmas baskets for your friends.
I love Christmas baskets. I love a Christmas basket. It's got to be the Harry and David days. I swear.
It has to be.
Instead, I style my presents and like the wrapping has to. Harry and David.
Harry and David.
They ruined me for like great pairs.
They taught you.
Sponge. Yes.
They taught you.
They did. I should give you credit, Harry and David.
Yes.
Well done. Specifically King of Prussia Mall.
Oh, my great mall.
Oh, it was fantastic. I wouldn't say I didn't spend money in Harry and David, but I happened to pass a few stores on my way in.
Yeah. Then you stop and then you shop.
Yeah, you stop and shop. There, I wasn't recognizing any fear at that point. I was just walking right in that store. But yeah, so in kind of fast forwarding, this fear of starting your own business, like the fear of failure, the fear of success, right? Like it can be a double-edged sword. But why we built sayhii was essentially to help people recognize their pain points, but then help them move through them. Because one of the biggest struggles we're facing right now is that we've got heavy workforce turnover. We have a lot of people leaving companies, right? Like the turnover is high. And why is that?
They're unhappy.
They're unhappy.
Yeah, for the most part, when people are leaving a company, it's because they're unhappy. They don't blend. It's not a culture fit for them.
Right.
Maybe the management style is not a fit for them and their personality.
Right.
See the career trajectory there.
Right.
There's a variety of ways. If someone's at a company, though, and they feel supported, they agree with the mission, vision, values of a company.
Yep.
They're in sync with like their management and the leadership team. Like they're going to stay. They're going to feel valued.
Yeah. And so one thing I would promote people to do because, and I don't want to short sell the importance of managerial skills, but most people that go into a management role, I know the team I was first managing, I was like, I have never done this. I don't know what I'm doing. Some of you guys are older than me. Like this is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how to best support you. And they literally looked at me and said, your job is to remove barriers. That is it. If I come to you and I tell you I have a problem, I need your help removing that barrier.
Help me figure it out to get that barrier removed.
Exactly. Like I'm not hearing back from this person. I need this resource, whatever it is. And so my job as a manager is literally just to remove barriers. Now, the problem becomes when people don't tell you what their barriers are. And that is happening more and more. And again, it's because of fear. The reason why people are not saying, I would love to have a conversation about what my next step is. I want concrete steps on what my career path is going to look like. And maybe they can't be concrete, but like, let's talk about the direction. You as an individual need to be able to get over that fear, to ask the questions that you want to ask or make the statements that you need to make if you're not feeling a part of something. Now, that's not currently happening, which is why sayhii exists. Right. There is no way for a company to check in on every single human, nor will every single human be honest with another human because they don't want to be judged. Fear of judgment.
Sometimes when you have that face-to-face conversation, it's really hard for someone to maybe open up and be honest about how they're feeling because they're afraid of the judgment from the other person and they're afraid they're going to get in trouble or whatever it might be.
How many times have any of us sat at like a lunch, a brunch, a dinner with like one of our loved ones? It could be our partner, it could be kids, it could be nieces, nephews, sisters, moms. And we like want to say something, but we're like, not going to say it. Right. I'm just not going to say it. Like I can't say this, but like I'm not going to say it. Yeah. Again, it gets in our way. Fear gets in our way. Why are we not able to express how we're feeling?
Yeah.
Fear of their response, whatever it may be. So two things. One, if you're sitting in a place where you don't feel valued at work, express your opinions and you do have a right to leave. Like if you don't feel a sense of belonging in the place that you work, that is not something that can be fabricated.
Right.
So that's a really hard one. However, if you are having a very specific problem at work, ask. And then ask again. And then ask again. The reason is because leaders can't read your mind. So if you need something, you have to express that need. What we're trying to do at sayhii is make that even more accessible. So we know that people have needs in the workplace. They don't really feel comfortable talking about them in the workplace. So, I mentioned I'm sober. I got sober. I have been very open with my sobriety journey. Mm-hmm. That has both helped me and hurt me in my career. And I knew that going in, that people can be polarized by, the thought of addiction or someone being in recovery.
Yeah.
But it's something that I feel very passionate to be open about because there's such a stigma.
I know. It's a stigma, and there's so many people that, probably want to be sober. They want to try and get there and just don't know how or don't know where to start, or there's the fear of it.
Yeah. And so that's actually something that happened to me at this startup that I was launching for this large company. Everybody knew I didn't drink. There was open bar. People drank all day. It was in a state where...
some of these corporate events, there's always open bars.
Pot was legal. This was in our everyday office. People would start drinking. We had kegs. We had...
Whoa.
Yes.
Party office.
It was that kind of the WeWork mentality of we're going to give you everything you need to stay here.
Yeah.
Just don't go home. Just keep working. Yeah. So we'd have the games on. It was the whole thing. But people knew I didn't drink. And I ended up being able to send 36 kids to treatment. But I found out it took 9 clicks and 6 phone calls.
Wow.
Do you think somebody at their lowest of the low is going to make it through 9 clicks and 6 phone calls to get to this beautifully packaged $128,000 treatment that we can just send you directly to, totally covered? But the process to get there was so hard. And so the people that are most at need are the ones that don't have the capacity, emotional, physical, whatever it may be, capacity to go find these resources. Mm-hmm. And so companies are doing everything they can to give every resource possible. We've got treatment and addiction resources. We've got L&D resources. We've got professional development. We've got learning opportunities. We've got networking. We've got all these things. But it's almost too much that people can't find it. So Say Hi is really about listening and then guiding people to the resources and or humans that they need to actually get over that need in the workplace. And it may not be your immediate supervisor, but we know that your company can't tell you need to go to treatment. You're the only person that can do that. Your company can't tell you don't trust your boss and we need you to get over that, because they don't know that.
Right.
And so our goal is to listen to every single human every day. We say hi once a day. And the goal is to optimize every single individual. And we do that by driving accountability to them, ownership to them. You own your stress level. You own your work-life balance. It was so hard for me to leave that company because I'd never been without a job, but it was my life or my job. And so
figure out the job part.
And it literally had to get to that life.
You can get to your, figure out the next step.
Correct. But I will tell you, my thinking was reversed my whole life.
I'm sure.
It was all about the career.
Work.
It didn't matter what happened to me. This would keep going until you realize that, we actually have to take care of ourselves. Burnout is a thing. We can have heart attacks. Like I was saying, I would be that one person that they're like, she was so healthy. She was working out every morning. She just died of a heart attack, right?
Yep.
We've heard of our friends passing young, and I don't want to be that person.
No,
and I don't want any of the listeners to be those people.
Right.
And the only thing standing in our way are pain points. So what is the pain that you are literally trying to solve? Is it getting off your butt and going to the gym? I get that's really freaking hard, but you can do it.
I say start with a walk.
That is the thing.
Go for a walk down the street, get some fresh air. That was one of the things I'm one of those people that works out every morning. So
she's
amazing. Talked about me multiple times. It's like, that person who works out every morning. I'm like, that's what I mean.
I'm drinking my coffee.
I'm gonna die of a heart attack.
Marathon.
I'm working. But during COVID, I was still doing my workouts in the morning. It shifted because I wasn't going to the gym anymore.
Yes.
But in the afternoon, the world shut down. The world was shut down. I was working from home. I was used to being in the office 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
To this event, that meeting, everything.
Yeah.
To just being home. And I was like, oh, what do I do? And getting out for that afternoon walk at 2:30, 3 p.m.
Yep.
Every day was great. It was a little weird at first, especially in March and April, when people would see you walking down the sidewalk and you're like, I'll go.
Oh, everyone goes across the street, steps aside.
You have COVID. You just everyone had COVID.
Everybody.
I was like, not anyone. You're like, get over this.
Yeah.
But then now for me, it's I love my walks.
Yes.
They're so, especially outside, fresh air.
That's exactly.
I
have to get out and move every day.
Yeah.
And I went from being very competitive in triathlons and that whole space, and now I'm like, I do my morning walk.
Yeah.
I walk my dogs every single morning. Rain, sun, sleet, hail. We live in Western
dogs, you have to get them out too.
You do. And if not, they're just going to annoy you. So, yeah. So I really challenge people to look at what is the pain? What is that fear? Is it that I'm not going to succeed? That people are going to judge me at the gym? Is it that I the fear of success? If I try this and it doesn't work, then I'm a failure.
Right.
Or what if you try it and it does work? Or what if you try it and it doesn't, and then you try something else? So I really just want to empower people to look their fear square in the face, because all of the pain points, so me having glass ceiling put on me burning out, me not feeling heard multiple times in my career, me not trusting managers that I had, me not knowing how to lead, all of it's just fear, and we can all get through that.
Yep.
Our goal at Say Hi is to make it more accessible for enterprise customers to be able to get their people what they need in their time of need without stigma. But the other thing we do, the byproduct of this individual one-to-one program, became giving real-time data to the organization.
Yes.
So they can see which teams are struggling and what they're struggling with, to hold leaders accountable, to coach, to train. It becomes a very helpful tool to have real-time data on your most valuable asset, your humans, but also know that they're getting what they need because this data is coming to you.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about Say Hi and the Say Hi platform. So, we talked about Say Hi. We say hi once a day to our employees.
Yes.
You talked about data. You talked about gathering information for the company so they can use it to make sure that their people are happy in their roles. They're feeling valued. They're feeling supported. They're feeling, the good challenge of what they do every day. What is Say Hi? What is the platform? How do you do all of this to get them the data and the information?
Everybody wants Say Hi to have a category. They're like, is it an engagement tool? Is it an experience tool? Is it this? It's a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we just say hi once a day. The cool thing about Say Hi, so some people will be like, well, it's a survey. Yeah, we're asking you a question a day. It's a Likert scale, 1 to 5, super easy. But the coolest thing about Say Hi is that we actually want to get to know you. So we don't know what question we're going to ask you until you answer the question the day before.
Okay.
So our goal is to use our 1 question a day, 3 seconds, 12 and a half minutes a year is all it takes.
I like that.
Exactly. Versus,
quick and easy.
And we have a 99% adoption rate. That means 99% of people are answering 1 question a day.
I mean, how could you not?
Exactly. And we give you the option to skip, and people are still choosing to answer. Why? Because people want to be heard.
I was saying, it's a little bit of connection for them, too.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then once a month, so everyone's answering their daily question, once a month, we're going to activate them. So they're going to get an email that literally has support resources that they need. It's going to have skills that they need. It's going to have a networking conversation. And we're going to tee you up to have a conversation. We're going to give you a question to answer to that person. But we also bring visibility into your vitals. So the demands placed on you, your capacity, burnout, work-life balance. Again, these are not things the company can necessarily control. They cannot control your work-life balance. I can't turn your laptop off at night.
Right.
I could. I mean, I could come to your house. I could physically come turn it off. And then you'd be like, I left it in the office tonight. I'd be like, well, I got to go there. So, but we have to give people awareness because we're the ones that have to change that. We have to set the boundaries. If I'm working until 11 o'clock at night, that is my choice. Absolutely. You can say the company is making me do it. The company is not making you do anything.
Right.
You have the right to not agree to overwork yourself. And if they say to you, then you can't work here, then it's not your place.
Right.
But we shouldn't have to feel abuse in the workplace. Now, working a regular 40-hour week, that's not abuse. That is what we sign up for.
It's normal. It's life.
We do it.
How we have to, get by in this world.
Well, and I feel like I would love to work a 40-hour week again. I'm sure we'll all get there one day.
Someday.
But so it really is up to us. So we drive awareness at the individual level. We give the organization this high-level data, but we're already trying to move the pieces with these monthly activations. We want to get people connected that can hear each other to create that sense of belonging. We want people optimizing their own performance by acknowledging where they're saying yes when they mean no. And so we want to pass in those soft skills and really help every individual become the best version of themselves. Now, the coolest output of Say Hi was we found out that we saved a marriage. Yes.
What?
I know. So we have a lot of statistics on retention and absenteeism and productivity. But the coolest story, which I'm never going to be able to document because you can't ask this question.
Right.
I got a call from someone and he literally brought his activation to his wife and said, there's no, they're saying my work-life balance is essentially terrible. And he slid it across the table. She slid divorce papers across the table.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
said, I've been trying to talk to you for 2 weeks about this, and you literally aren't even home. Yeah, your work-life balance is terrible to the point where I want a divorce.
Oh.
But that was the moment that changed. And he was like, I'm going to do different.
Good for him. That's amazing.
He didn't need to hear from her that
no.
You're never around. Why aren't you home you missed another dinner? Because we do it. We do it. It's like, oh, you're late again. Oh, totally judgment, criticism.
Yeah.
Only goes so far. But when a little system that doesn't know you, that's literally just taking your data, is coming back and telling you this is a problem, and you're getting them, they're still married. They're actually in counseling right now.
Oh.
And they've been married, by the way, 34 years.
Wow.
So this would have been a big A. But they are working through it, and he is setting balance at work. And honestly, his entire team is following suit. So again, as leaders, we have to be the representation. Are you sending emails at 9 o'clock at night? Are you sending emails on the weekend so that people feel like they have to respond?
Right.
Are you holding and respecting your own boundaries?
Yeah.
Or are you causing pain points for other people?
I think that's so interesting because he, without saying hi, he had probably no clue.
No.
Even if his wife was telling him, it didn't matter. He was focused on his job, focused on work, his career, and didn't even realize that he had zero work-life balance. So having the data from Say Hi and the activations, I love that that's a part of it too. So not only are you collecting the data, but hey, here's some resources that can help you, or here's what we're finding out about you. And it's anonymous too, right?
It's completely anonymous. So he's the only one who sees his personal scores in this embedded email. So the cooler part of that, his skill that month, because we'll funnel in soft skills or we can funnel in training, his soft skill that month was recognize where you're putting your energy and what you value most. It was something along those lines. And in that moment, he was like, oh my gosh. And he'd said to me on the phone, he said, I work so much because I'm always validated at work. And I'm not necessarily validating. When my wife's like, you're not home for dinner, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. He's like,
getting like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm going to go back to work.
Yeah.
So, but they have found that they were aware of it. They acknowledged it.
Awesome.
They're moving past it. And they have 3 wonderful kids who are like, go say hi.
It's life-changing.
Yeah,
That's life-changing for people, not just professionally, but personally as well. And when someone is feeling fulfilled in their career, in their home life, they're going to be kind of jiving on both aspects of their life.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be feeling good. They're going to be moving forward. They're going to be happier.
And you can serve others then. You show them in such a positive way that people then, I call it attraction rather than promotion. People will call me and say, like, I want your energy. I want this. I want that. I'm like, then go to bed at 8:30.
Yeah.
Wake up at 4, do an hour of meditation. I don't know what to tell you. I know what works for me.
Do you do an hour of meditation?
I do an hour of meditation.
Good for you.
Yes.
That's a long time.
So when you first start, yes, it feels that way. And now it feels like my happy place. It's where I go for all things. Like,
you probably worked up to it, right?
I did force myself into it a little bit. I put myself on a 10-day silent seated meditation retreat in Mazunte, Mexico, where I showered out of a coconut shell and used composting toilets and ate vegan meals for 10 days. There's no eye contact, no hand gestures, no reading, no journaling, no music, and 8 hours of meditation a day. And never watch like a Queen movie before you go, because like the first day I was sitting there, I'm like, we are the champions, and then like, and then the wind bites the dust. Like for like 3 days, all I could hear was Queen, and then after 3 days, everything turned off, and it just became very easy.
That's awesome. I love that. I just read a book about it was fiction, but it was about a 10-day wellness retreat.
Yeah.
Part of it was like this 5 days of silence and. You kind of shut down from everything. You know, devices. Nope. You can't read. Yeah, you were just silent for X amount of days, and it was like super healthy food. They took your blood work every day, and then they created your diet around your blood work. I was like, I need to go to one of these places.
That is like majority of what I do for vacation. I just want to get quiet and get away from people. People are like, you're going alone. Do you want to go on a silent seated meditation retreat with your best girlfriend when someone toots while meditating and you're like, oh, and you can't
just laugh. Yeah.
You can't. And if your best friend was sitting next to you, you know you would.
And you wouldn't be able to get back together either. You would just keep laughing.
No, absolutely.
More and more turn into just like the laughing.
Kicked out. Yeah. 100% kicked out. Yeah, totally. So, but no, that really opened up, and that is where I get my clarity.
Yeah.
That's where I center. That's how I know what fear I'm feeling and what I need to do to get past it. There's a lot of reasons why people don't meditate, and it's because the things that need to come to you will, and sometimes you don't want them to. But I also mentioned, like, I lost a dog on Friday.
Yeah.
And the coolest part about that is, like, in meditation, that's where, like, I deal with all of it. So by the time I come into my normal world, I actually feel, like, so good. And I'm so grateful. Yeah. But it's because I've gotten really quiet with it. And I've dealt with my grief in meditation. Like, tears will come to your face, and you let them out.
Just let them go.
And that's it. And then surprisingly, you finish the hour and you're like, oh, and you get through the day and you're like, well, I didn't even cry today.
Oh, yeah.
And then you start crying because you're like, well, I didn't cry. Now I'm crying. So, but so anyway, I'm a firm believer in meditation because it helps you be present and be so aware. And that to me is a superpower. Yeah. Is being aware, being able to be present and aware in every conversation and interaction. Because you never know what's going to come your way.
You don't.
You never know when you're going to launch a tech company. Just saying.
When you were in your corporate career, did you ever think you would start your own company?
No. I literally was told by that boss that I ended up leaving that, Amy, there are people that came up with a light bulb, and then there's people that screw it in. You're the one who screws it in. You're a doer. You're not a thinker.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
you're like, huh.
And the honest thing was, I would think of things and never say anything. And then like 6 months down the road, someone would say it. And I'm like, wasn't everybody thinking that? And then with sayhii, people are like, this is so far ahead. I've actually now realized that most of the time in my life, I've been like 5 years ahead. We were talking about the social media.
Yes.
And my need to be off of social media. Yeah. The fact that we're coming back into a renaissance period, we actually have been. That's why kids want to learn how to sew and cook and grow plants. So we're actually shifting back, actually, as a society, to more renaissance. Paper notes, actually having phone calls, getting together in person.
It's bringing human elements back to real life.
Yeah. So I actually think that we are going to see a pivot away from technology back to human interaction, which is the purpose of sayhii. We use tech to always reconnect humans to humans, skills, and training. we cannot take an answer if we do not expect to act on it. Because if you are going to be respectful enough to give us your answer every day, it is our goal to show up for you and get you what you need.
I love that because, yeah, you're right. It's not just gathering the data. It's not just having someone click on a computer screen or on their device, like, to answer this question. It's like, well, what is it? What's coming of this?
Right.
And I think that engagement is why you have an 99% rate.
Yeah. Because people want to know.
Yeah.
They're curious. We're all curious about ourselves. I mean, if someone said, do you want your horoscope for today? I would say yes.
Oh,
do I believe it's going to happen? I don't know, but I definitely want it.
I want it.
100%. I'm probably acquiring a piano today. I'm not, but I guarantee you that's what my horoscope said. But it's kind of the same interest, right? When they get their monthly, they want to see it because it's about them. What is my work-life balance? What is my stress? Mm-hmm. What is my challenge? Oh, I don't like that person. I don't want to have the conversation. Or, yeah, super excited to connect. So we love all of it. And the whole point is just make people aware, drive ownership, because at the end of the day, none of us can control anybody else besides ourselves. So let's give people and equip them very easily with what they need to be successful.
I love that. And I was going to ask you, too, how it feels being a tech founder and, like, having a tech company when you're like, and we're coming back to the human element. But you totally, like, wrap that up. You're like, the whole point of this tech platform is to reconnect humans.
Correct.
And bring back that human element. And just remember, we're all human. We're all trying our best.
Right.
Every single day.
Yes.
In our careers, in our personal lives, just so we're showing up.
Yeah.
We're showing up for ourselves. We're showing up for the people around us.
Yes. And one of the big fears right now, and I just want to displace this for anybody who's feeling pain around this, in AI replacing jobs. First off, AI is not going to replace all jobs. I actually feel like there's a huge push right now for AI, but in my belief, I believe a lot of corporations are using it as excuses to condense down. We have seen multiple companies throughout time, including the ones I was at, say we're going to expand management levels, we're going to collapse management levels. Well, all that's happening right now is another collapse. But what the data is showing us is those jobs aren't actually taken over by AI.
Right.
They are just a lot of managerial levels, extra people. A lot of companies will staff up, staff down. That's a very normal occurrence.
It always happens. It's all cyclical.
Yes. And we're in the economy right now, so that's to be expected. I do think understanding technology is important. So not being afraid of AI, but recognize you're already using it. But I think what we're going to see is a huge push for it, and then we're going to see it pull back again. I think there's going to be regulations. I think people alone are right sizing. I know that personally, if I see like the M dashes, I'm skipping the blog. Like, you didn't write that and you had some, like, ChatGPT edit it. Like, people have got to do better with how they show up, because if you just allow a large language model to talk for you, anybody else can go ask that same large language model what you asked it. So if you are not doing something that is unique and different, and I am all for using large language models to brainstorm, come up with ideas, right?
Yep.
Give me 300 names for this podcast.
Help me
400 blog
posts.
Yeah.
Like,
give me starting
recipe.
points.
Like,
I just did
use it for recipes all the time.
Oh, recipes, meal plans. I use it if I have to give a talk. I'll literally drop it in and say, give me like 5 bullet points. Yep. Give me like a doozy of a first line, last line. I use it to brainstorm. I'll use it for the final checks. But I think we all have to right size our own understanding with technology, and humans bring so much more value than just technology that we're never going to see a full displacement. Nobody wants a world that is run by computers, because guess what? We are the ones running it. Yep. So we get to make choices. And for me, like I said, we don't allow large language models into sayhii. We are writing questions. They come out of research. We write our content. We do not use large language models, but we have a neural network and we have networking algorithms, multiple algorithms. Those are all AI. Everybody is using AI if you shop on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
There's algorithms everywhere. LinkedIn. So
you have to use it. It's a tool.
It's a tool. And it's going to right size.
Find the way it's going to like suit you and your needs best.
Yeah.
Without letting it totally take over.
Yeah. Remain human and don't give 100%. You probably don't give 100% trust to any human on this planet, probably 99.9 at best. But it's ironic that we give 100% trust to technology and not to humans when technology makes as many, if not more, errors.
You have to double check all of the outputs you're getting from AI.
Yes.
Because it's not always accurate. You're right.
And it will literally try to find arguments to agree with you. And so one thing I actively do with large language models is say, give me the for this and also give me the anti this. Like, how would you...
I like that.
Yeah, how would you defend these arguments? What would be the argument someone would come up when reading this? And then really try to weave that in. So I'll use it.
That's a good
Yeah, because if not, it's always going to agree with you.
Right.
I have literally told my model, do not always agree with me. And it's like, okay, we've like tucked that away or whatever. I forget what it said, but I'm like, okay, good. And it mostly still agrees with me, but I'm like, you can't disagree with me. And they're like, we're aware that we can disagree with you. I'm
my
like,
gosh.
Okay. And then I'm like, I'm just going to close this.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who uses it as a therapist. It works pretty well for her. No. For me. Just right now. I'd rather just call a friend.
Talk to someone.
I'll text a Lord. I'll be like, I'm coming to your office right now. We're going to talk about my fact that I had 4 coffees yesterday. Like, we're just going to get through this now. I don't need
chat through
ChatGPT.
it. Yeah.
It's going to take 2 seconds. So I would say, like, we have to be curious. We can't be fearful. We can't think AI is going to take our job. Just like the computer didn't take our job. Just like
right.
So many things. Will jobs shift and go away because new technology? Yeah, absolutely. But that's also going to create other jobs.
Exactly.
And so it's really finding, what do I want to do? What's available for me, and how can all this technology in the world make that easier?
Yeah, absolutely. What is the best client for sayhii?
We have a really big focus in healthcare right now. We really want to care for our people, taking care of our people.
Yes, I love that.
Healthcare is extraordinarily stressful because patients are extraordinarily stressful.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the organization. It is billing. It is insurance companies. It is work schedules and a lack of staff. It is all of these things, and they just need resources when they need it. They need to be heard. Organization and leaderships need that data to make better staffing decisions. So we're saying hi a lot in healthcare right now. So we are actively pursuing healthcare clients, again, to help support the people supporting our people. The beauty for healthcare is so it catches employee concerns and operational inefficiencies in real time. So for a healthcare system, it helps them move labor around.
Right.
It helps make sure these people get the resources they need. But it's also giving them that visibility as an organization to say, how's quality going? Because their reimbursements are directly related.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Some of these healthcare systems are getting reimbursed on the quality care they're providing for patients.
And they literally go into a black box all year where they try to do patient experience surveys. And most of the time, the patients that respond are very unhappy. The people that always respond to surveys are the ones that are like, we hate you. So we don't want to take a one-time annual survey. We need this real-time data. And nothing is more important than taking care of people, taking care of our people. And I think right now with federal funding cuts and all the things going on, we just have to give extra love and attention to all of our frontline workers.
Yeah, and that's awesome. So you're checking in with them, you're helping the companies provide resources to the people.
Yeah.
So that they are taking better care, ultimately, of the patients that they're seeing and treating every single day.
And helping them make their operations more efficient.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Happy and healthy people doing things that are not monotonous, boring, or duplicitous.
And when you're healthier, you're being more efficient.
Correct.
You're doing better job, personally, professionally. Everything kind of comes together. You don't need as much healthcare.
I love it.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for joining us. If someone's looking to get in touch with you and wants to learn more about sayhii, how can they get in touch with you?
You can go to sayhii, SAYHII, 2 I's.io, or you can just email me at amy@sayhii, 2 I's.io.
I love it. And you can definitely find them online at sayhii.io.
Yes, ma'am.
sayhii.io. And we'll be sure to tag it in all the descriptions from the podcast. So thank you again, Amy. This was such a great conversation.
Yeah.
So fun, so enlightening. So thank you for listening, and we look forward to having you listen to another Pain Points podcast. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Pain Points podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to follow us so you never miss out on future episodes.